Welcome to the Tenaciously Resolute podcast. Hello and welcome back to the Tenaciously Resolute podcast. I'm your girl, Carice Nelson, and it's a pleasure to have you back here with us. Today, we have an amazing guest, and it is none other than one of Tobago's conflict resolution coaches. And at this time, allow me to introduce the amazing Miss Mauriska Thomas. Welcome, Miss Thomas, to the podcast. How are you?
Thank you for having me. I'm fine.
It is a pleasure, and you look wonderful.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you so much, right? So, guys, today we're talking on a topic that is relevant to everybody. We are talking about managing conflicts in your friendships. So, I think that is very vital to know how to do that, because guess what? A lot of times, or sometimes, or there will come a time that you and your good friend will fall out, right? And we need to know how to move forward instead of saying, you know what, we done and don't ever speak to each other again. Mauriska, what's your experience with these type of things, girl?
Well, I'm just like everybody else in the sense of I have friends too. And in every friendship, it doesn't matter your background, your profession, or anything of the sort, you will have conflicts. And it's just amazing the way that we choose to deal with it. So yes, I would have had situations where situations don't go the way that you want.
Yeah.
And you've had to say, you know what, I think it's best that we not be friends. Or in other cases, you say, you know what, I think I would like to fix this.
Absolutely.
And you work towards getting back to a space that both of you all are even with.
Well, I know in this day and age, people like to say their cutoff game is strong. Is that healthy, or is that some toxic coping mechanisms that we are going about doing?
I think it depends on how you look at it. If it is that you haven't tried to deal with the situation and you just cut off the person, I think that's toxic, because you haven't figured out what actually went wrong. All you said is, you know what, I'm finished with this. I just throw a blanket over that and on to the next one. So the same thing that you did here, you're basically carrying it into the other relationships that you would have. So there's no lesson being learned.
Yeah, that's so true.
Now, if it is that you choose to go through the situation, you understand what the other person says, you understand what you say, and then after that you understand that a friendship can no longer stand, and you decide to cut it off, no problem to that. At least the both of you will understand where each other stands.
So you don't just walk off on the relationship, you're supposed to talk it out?
I would always suggest to talk. But generally, the time when you would talk about your friendship and what's happening is if it is that you intend to keep it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of persons would say, I had a business with this person, they could do what they want, and that kind of thing. But deep inside, you know that this person actually values the person.
Yeah.
But because of ego, we choose not to talk. I don't want to be wrong.
And ego is a killer, eh?
It is.
No much friendships, ego match up. People ain't easy at all, you know.
No, because everybody thinks that they should be right.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, there's some validity in understanding that everybody has a right to their own opinions, right? And their own emotions. But at the same time, everybody loses if we all want to win.
Exactly.
Right?
Because within that, there is no space for understanding. Yes, I am holding my viewpoint. I'm choosing to stand my ground.
Yeah.
But what is the other person trying to say? If you're not trying to understand that, then what's the point of having the conversation in the first place? So that, for me, when you enter into conflict, you have to always have an open mind. That here, what when I go and I have this conversation, there's a possibility that maybe the point that I'm holding on to, maybe it's actually shaky. Maybe I didn't have enough information and I made a decision that wasn't based in factual information or enough information, right? So I was probably too rash, too swift to make a decision. Now, when you go to have the conversation, you find out other things, and instead of you being, defiant to new information, be open, accept the information. Say, you know what, I'm sorry, I didn't know about this, I didn't know about that, but seeing as how I know, I could understand why you did what you did. Or you might say, even though this happened, I can't take it.
Yeah.
That was unreasonable what you did. You could say that too. And well, you make a decision based on the information that you have, but at the end of it, still be willing to listen to new information and be willing to accept that you may be wrong.
But I mean, that might be easy to say, but it might be harder to do, because I know it has some persons that their personality is not strong and they may be a little shy and they are not really capable or fully able to champion or fight for themselves. And I'm not saying physical fight here. I'm talking about being an ambassador for their own self, you know? So in cases like that, what are you supposed to do? How are you supposed to approach that type of conversation if you have that type of fear in you?
Those persons would be conflict avoidant persons. And I would say, have somebody that you trust that you could go over the situation with. Because when you're in the situation, you might be crying, you're overly emotional, you don't have the tools necessary to actually deal with the situation. You could choose to have somebody you trust go through it with you to figure out if the views that you hold, if those are valid. But I mean, yes, the views that you have are valid, but as to the situation, if you're actually correct or if you might be wrong or if you weren't seeing something that the other person would probably, basically trying to flesh out the situation with you before you approach the person. What you could also do as well, probably after you have the conversation, or even if you don't, you could probably write the points that you want to say on a piece of paper to keep you on track.
But I mean, it's not really reasonable. I mean, I just trying to imagine a friend of mine coming with this paper and saying, well, open up the scroll. This is the problem.
Listen to me. I understand how weird it could seem.
Yeah.
But I can tell you, I have done it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've done it because okay, well, prior to now, because now I'm more experienced, I have a bit more skills, I understand how to do things better. But before, I would have written down what I had to write, and I'm telling you everything on the list. Because if it is I go without the direction, I would start to get emotional, and then everything on my paper, I would just forget.
Yeah.
If it is I didn't write it. So then I leave, and then what happens? The issues that I wanted to address. Right. So the problem is still there. I went there, we tried to talk. No, I just basically wasted an entire session.
Yeah.
Probably crying and
being emotional and didn't even meet the target or the points.
Exactly. Wasting my time.
Exactly.
And I don't like to waste my time.
Yeah.
So for me, I was saying that I need to figure out a way to fix this because, like I said, I don't like to waste time. Don't waste my time. So, and then in a case like that, I was wasting my own time. So I had to figure out how to maximize on that. So I started to write down my things, and we would argue. If you need to argue, you argue off of the point, right? If somebody doesn't agree, that's fine. Next point.
Yeah.
That way I understand where you stand with each thing. And then at the end of it, you could decide, all right, I still want to keep you as a friend, but we disagree on X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
And that's okay, because everybody doesn't have to agree on something.
That is true. I feel like people can disagree and be okay with each other maintaining their point of view and still be cordial with one another.
I would say we should be able to. But in reality, that doesn't really happen.
I feel like it requires some maturity to do that. I mean, I do have that with a lot of my friends, being able to say, okay, this is my point and I'm holding on to my convictions. And you may see it differently and I hear you, but at the end of the day, I just don't agree. I simply don't agree, you know? And I mean, for a lot of people, that's difficult to swallow. But a few people can handle it.
A lot of persons think that in order for us to be friends, we have to always agree.
Yeah, I totally disagree with that mindset.
I disagree with that too.
I feel like when I was much younger in my teens, and I also experienced that in my 20s with a friend of mine who I was shocked. I was like, why do I need to agree with you in everything? I mean, if I disagree with you, doesn't mean that I don't like you or I don't care about you. And you know, sometimes with that, it transcends from just opinions to, if I don't like this person, you can't like them. You understand? Or if I have a problem with this person, you can't be their friend because now you're a traitor. I used to be like, what? Is that really how to approach something like that?
Like you said, it managing friendships requires a level of maturity. Now, if it is that I don't trust the person that you consider to be your best friend, then I would have to reevaluate my friendship with you because, of course, if you're friends, you're going to see certain things. So I now have to understand where I stand within our friendship with you, within my friendship with you, and I understand the dynamic of your friendship with somebody else. So I may now have to just be a bit more cautious in my information because I don't want it to reach somewhere else. It's not that I don't trust you, but I don't trust the person that you interact with. So I'm going to protect myself. It doesn't mean I love you any less. We could do certain things, but then there are certain things I'm not going to do with you. I'm not going to trust you with.
But is it a safe thing to do, or is it something that person should do by saying, okay, if this makes my friend uncomfortable, or this person makes my friend uncomfortable, but I haven't had a negative experience with them, or I haven't been treated in any type of bad way, or this is not my experience with them over time, or I may have known them from childhood, should I then say, okay, in order to preserve one friendship, let go the other?
You don't have to. I think what's better to do is to compartmentalize. Understand what makes a friend comfortable with the friendships with the other friendships that you have, and make sure that they don't clash. And if something happens, try
to make sure.
And if they happen to clash, understand how, or at least, prior to anything happening, figure out how you're going to deal with the situation if anything happens. That way, friendship A could be solid and friendship B could still be solid because the both of them still trust you despite what happened.
I think there's a measure of confidentiality and privacy that you, especially if you're going to be in between, you have to carry, because you cannot be friends with people of diverse opinions or a dislike for each other and be carrying information to and fro. You literally have to maintain the privacy of each friend independently. And I feel like though it is a hard line to walk, it can be done, because I mean, if you were in a working environment and your boss was something and your friend didn't like, you still would have to work with your boss, not so? So how come when it gets to friendships, we feel as though we can't do it?
I think persons think of friendships to be way more personal and more close to your heart. So I think that is where the whole pettiness or the selfishness of if this person is your friend, you can't be my friend. I understand that concept, but let's see. With your friend, you need to establish boundaries. So yes, you are allowed to be friends with whoever you want to be friends with, but I will have my boundaries with you. Right? So it's similar to what I was saying before. You need to establish what this friendship is going to look like. So I know what your other friendships are. I respect that you choose to have these other people in your life. I can't dictate your life. I can't do it. And you can't dictate mine. However, in our interaction, you'd agree on how it's going to look. That is either whenever we say certain things, it stays right here.
Exactly.
If I hear my information anywhere else, it's over.
That is so true. you have to literally draw that hard line, because then you are left in a predicament that is like, I'm unsafe in the mix here, you know?
And you being uncomfortable, it makes no sense.
It makes no sense. But I feel like this is a mature perspective on friendships, because as teenagers and for younger people in your early 20s, you hardly see people say, okay, I am able to maintain my point of view and maintain my friendships despite whatever is ongoing in the environment, and yet still thrive.
And this is where people growing older and having less friends come in, but more quality friends as they get older.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about that. Why does that happen? Because, I mean, as kids, you have about 30 friends. Jeremy is my friend. Kimani is my friend. Kelisha is my friend. Samantha is my friend. The whole classroom, everybody in here, all are we friends. If sir move me from table 1 to table 6, I'm a friend too.
Everybody is a friend.
And then you hit 30 and you have like 5 friends. Or you have maybe 8, you know?
I think, well, remember when you're in school, everybody had kind of the same values in a sense of everybody's coming to school, you're trying to fit in as teenagers. So you're basically still feeding off of each other.
Yeah.
But then when you leave school and you're more focused on self in terms of finding out who you are, because in school it's more about fitting in, but as you get older you need to understand who you are in this fast world.
It's true.
And how you're going to function, how you're going to reap the benefits of anything that you do, what is best for you, right? So as you try to figure that out, the aim, I think, is to have persons around you who would actually help you to grow in the area that you want to grow.
Yeah, and I feel like you have to have similar values in order to have that facilitated. And if not values, they would have had to walk that road ahead of you or with you, journeying with you.
Yes. A lot of the times, a lot of persons have less friends as they grow because everybody's trying to find themselves. So, but everybody can't come. Because then as everybody can't come.
I mean, that's so sad. And you know, I feel like people have this feeling that love is lost when they can't come.
Yes, persons might feel, oh my gosh, because she doing XYZ, she doesn't want to speak to me anymore, and she feel that she's so this
she's
and
so
that.
biggish.
But that's not the case. It's that I will still talk to you. You're still human. I still have respect for you.
I
things
still have
like
love
that.
for you, actually.
Exactly. I still have it. But in the direction that I'm taking my life, I'm looking at yours, and it doesn't fit.
And it doesn't align.
Yeah. So I don't dislike you, but you just can't come.
Yeah.
I'm not going to disown you. I'm not going to say, well, whatever friendship we had meant nothing. But you just can't come on this journey with me. I will see you because we live in the same space, and that's fine. Yeah. We could have a conversation on again, but you don't really contribute to the direction that I'm going, and that's okay. We don't have to not talk, but just understand the amount of time that I may invest in you versus the person on the road that I'm going is going to be different. The conversations are going to be different. The places we go is going to be different.
Yeah.
You know?
I totally get that. And I mean, it's a heartbreaking process when you have to let some people go. And when I say let them go, it's not like a permanent let go, you know? But it's just a lessening of the time, and sometimes it may be permanent, You know?
It may be necessary to be permanent with some persons in order for you to reach where you want to reach.
I feel like a lot of persons are caught in limbo there, because sometimes you see people who have, you know, their childhood best friends, and you could clearly see that they would have grown apart. Totally different interests, totally different vibe. One person might be aspiring and thriving, and the other person they're talking about, you remember when we was on the playground? You remember when Miss fall on the step? And it's like, why are conversations still in 2008 when I talk with you? But I want you to catch up to 2024. What's happening now? And then there's no update. And then it's almost like you're trying to be better than me. You're trying to be, is what going on here. You know, I feel like friendships struggle in that limbo. What are your thoughts?
I think that is where the compartmentalization is supposed to happen. So you realize that this person is stuck in 2008. You have the 2008 conversations with this person if you want to. Right? You have the choice to choose who you want to be around you. So you could choose to have the person talking about the conversations from 2008, and that's fine. You understand that this is as much as you'll get with this person, and that's okay. Then you have your other set of people who you'll be talking to, who you know are on the same trajectory that you're looking to go, and you understand what you will get out of the conversations with them. And that's okay as well. It's okay to have different friends in different categories, and you basically just give to them what it is you know that you could give to them. Don't go to the 2008 person and expect the 2025 group type conversation from that person. It's going to be frustrating. But if you choose to have that person understand and respect where that person is, and you just allow the friendship to be what it is, and otherwise, basically do the same thing with the other friend groups that you have.
Okay, so in our pre-interview discussions, we were talking about evaluating your friendships, and I would like you to chat a little bit about that.
Okay, so every year it's a good practice to evaluate the friends that you have. So this person, we speak often, this person benefits my life, right? Note, I know some people might want to say, oh, so you only picking friends for persons who could benefit.
Yeah.
Not in the sense of I'm only going to take from you or anything, because it's supposed to be a reciprocal relationship.
Absolutely.
Because the aim is to grow, right? The aim is to grow. So as much as you can give me, I am supposed to also be willing to give you, so that both of us could grow together. That's the aim. So it's nothing to look at and be like, oh my gosh, she always wants and always want to take. No. You have to, within yourself, you have to know the value that you have. You have to know what you can give to other people, and require that other people who come into your life, because you're on a growth trajectory.
Absolutely.
You have to require that these people come with value to your life. Because if you just have somebody sitting there and they can't do anything, the most that person is going to do is to pull you back
and frustrate you.
Exactly.
Ultimately.
Because just like the 2008 friend, that person can't add anything to the direction that you're going. So you maybe, just like I said prior, you can't spend as much time with that friend as the 2025 friends. Right? Because the 2025 friends require more time, because that is the direction that you're looking to go. The 2008, you could only get so much. And if you start to put more time into that, you're going to be stuck in a space where it's just a circle, going over the same things over and over, no movement.
Yeah, and that's dangerous, to be very honest. And I feel like coming to the realization that you actually have to evaluate and promote and demote.
Yes.
Bruh.
Fire.
That is stress. That fire. Yeah, you could fire your friends. That sounds
it's harsh. It is, and I wouldn't say that it's the easiest thing to do. It really isn't. It's
so this is where the cutoff game had to be strong.
Yes. I mean, I sung like this because it is really a hard thing to do. Because knowing somebody for so long, and you know so many things about them, and you shared so many different experiences, and sometimes it's that you are trying to pull them with you, and you can't pull them anymore. And that in itself is a heartbreaking thing. And when you reach the point where you just say you can't, you really can't. I'm getting a little emotional because it's an actual real thing. And if you want movement in your life, you have to know who you have around you. You have to know what these people bring to the relationship, and what you can also give to them to make sure that everybody is on a trajectory to moving up. Yes, some people want to stay where they are and they are comfortable. So like I said, compartmentalize and understand when your time is up in order for you to continue going where you're supposed to go. Because you don't want a whole 20 years pass, 25 years pass, and you're saying to yourself, I could have. So you're experiencing a midlife crisis. You know, if it wasn't for so and so in my life, you know, I would have reached.
No, but people actually say that, you know. People will actually be like, you, and they wake up like 20 years later with fresh eyes. You've been holding me back my whole life. You're like a heavyweight. Yeah.
That is
they would actually
reality.
say that. And so you're pulling me down. Every time I try to take a step forward, you're pulling me back. And I didn't realize until we had this chat that you really have to take up the mantle to really do this kind of evaluation and say, but wait, is this worth my time? And I mean, in the context of friendships, that's a difficult thing to consider because it's almost like you feel as though you're too big for your britches. You understand? You're Princess Margaret. How dare you? You understand? You want to say, I can't come with you. Because, I mean, that's the kind of thought that people were having and saying when I was growing up, you know, it was in the songs, the rappers was like, you know, you had to leave some people in the hood. You had to, and I was like, leave them in the hood, you wicked boy. As soon as you get big, you're rich and switch. Yeah, rich and switch. And it's like, no, when you hit a certain age, it's like, wait. It's true. It's true. You really have to consider that. You have to change. Yeah. You can't stay the same.
You can't. A lot of times, a lot of persons want to still have the friendships from a long time. And yes, the person who would have cut you off, fired you from the friendship, that person most times legit wants you there, you know.
Seriously?
Sometimes they want you there, but remember...
Repeat that a little louder. Repeat that a little louder for me.
The person who may have fired you from the friendship, sometimes that person wants to have the friendship with you.
Yeah.
But the unwillingness on your part to do the necessary things to come with them. We can't take you.
Yeah.
It's like me you deciding that you're going to pick up a rock and pull it with a rope with the strength that you have. That's impossible. Because when you want to say, I want to move on to this and I have this great idea, and this friend says, nah, I don't feel that could work. And every minute is a no and a negative thing. And that in itself is very discouraging. You
very
can't
much
have
heavy vibes.
Heavy vibes.
Yeah, heavy vibes coded.
You can't go anywhere with attitudes like that directly around you.
I feel like when people do that to you, sometimes you get accustomed to the fact that it's just that is who they are, you know.
If we accept that that's how the person is, then we could say, all right, I understand if I just want to talk certain things, I could only talk this certain thing with you. I can't speak about bigger ideas because this is the response I'm going to get. So you learn who to have certain conversations with in order for you to be able to thrive or to express yourself in a way or to get the feedback that you're looking for.
So then essentially you need to have categories of friends. You need to have friends that are thriving who you could run with, and you could still maintain the friendships or choose to remove the friendships. I mean these days they say the friendships that don't serve you, remove things that don't serve you. And I mean I find that kind of like dangerous words that don't serve you, but I mean at the end of the day you have to evaluate.
Yes, you have to evaluate, but I think we should probably approach it with some softer words. I mean, yes, the truth is the truth, and it's going to sound very controversial, but because we are still humans, and we have feelings.
And I don't know where this don't serve you conversation, because I find it's a popular quote, you know, remove things that don't serve you, but at the end of the day, I feel like, especially those of us who are Christians, we are here to serve, right? That is part of what you are here to do. So when you're like, you know, removing things that don't serve me, it's like, yes, we get you said, but at the same time, it's harsh, you know?
I think it's just the wording. The wording hurts.
It's combative in a bit, in a way.
So if we say persons who don't, how do we make this softer? If you could just tell the person we don't seem to be on the same trajectory or we don't seem to have the same ideas anymore, That way, I'm doing this, and yes, we could lie now and again. If you'd like, that's fine. But I'm doing XYZ, so they understand, and most of your time is going to be taken up doing something else. Yeah. So that, it doesn't have the friction of, oh my gosh, since you started doing XYZ, we don't talk anymore. You feel that you're bigger than me. I've told you prior that I'm doing certain things, understand. Now, if it is after that you don't understand, then that's basically on you. And if you want to stay where you are and you don't want to follow me or you disagree, then that's fine. But I also have a choice as to if I'm choosing to keep you here or not. Mm-hmm. Because you can't surround, if you're looking for upward movement, or you just, basically upward movement, and you're just thinking to yourself, I want to be a certain space, in a certain space. You basically have control over your whole life.
Yeah.
You can't allow other people, because of how they feel, to control what you should do.
That is so
Some
true.
things are good to do. It's good to be nice to people. It's good to accept people for who they are and so on. But you are also in control of your life in terms of the direction that you want to go. And you have to sit and you need to map out exactly what is needed for you to be able to succeed in the direction that you want.
So true. I feel to give you a standing ovation for that one, right? But I mean, when you were talking about friction, what popped into my mind was toxic friendships and surviving toxic friendships. Mm-hmm. What would be your recommendation to persons who are in the midst of friendships that are toxic? And tell us a little bit about what you consider toxic friendships to look like.
A toxic friendship is one where you can't trust the person that you call a friend. I think that's just the basis of it. Because if I am going around telling everybody this is my friend, but then when it is I have a secret, I can't tell you because I'm afraid that you might tell somebody else.
Yeah, it'll be
you
in
can't
the road.
Possibly be my friend. Yeah. So that means our definition of what a friend is skewed. Because the person I'm calling my friend, I'm clearly saying that person is not my friend. And anybody listening would say, but this person can't be a friend if it is that you're afraid to share certain things with them. You know? So, but just like we spoke before, and we were saying that if it is that you have a friend that I don't trust, you have to compartmentalize. So maybe the person can't be a best friend. They could be a friend, but, a certain type of friend.
In the friend group.
Yes.
They can be in the friend group.
But you are a certain type of friend.
Yeah.
You're not the friend that I go to tell my secrets to because I'm afraid they would leak. I
feel like everybody would have experienced some version of a toxic friend. And to me, there was no way of avoiding it. You had to burn to learn.
Yeah.
In
friendships, everybody had to go through something. It's very unfair, but
it is what it is, But the truth of the matter, I feel like a lot of young people, if they get that toxic friendship the most, but on the other side of that, toxic friendships come out in church, it comes out in work, when you make these little bonds as you go along and you're like, but wait, this person, all they here to do is stop my business, or they asking me specific questions to see what information that they could get out of me so that they could carry it to whomever, On the other side of it, I've even seen persons who would have literally used your information to weaponize it against you, So in your experience, how does that look within a friendship, when people weaponize information?
I don't see the friendship. It's simple. Because there is no way that I could open up myself to you and tell you things about me, and then you choose to use my information against me or to gain some points with somebody else or to tell other people my business. I don't see the friendship.
Yeah.
I don't know if I sound cut and dry, but
no, but it is cut and dry. But I feel I am of the opinion that though we may look at it as a cut and dry decision, you really have to develop that type of inner strength to really say, nah, this person is not a friend, and be plain about it. Because sometimes you try to maintain a certain type of friendliness or to maintain some sort of, and it's not just being cordial, it's like play pretend.
So why are you pretending with your friend? Your friend shouldn't be somebody that you have to pretend with. If it is you find yourself in a situation like that, understand that person is an acquaintance immediately.
Yeah.
You can't trust that person. And you just have to accept it. There are many things that people don't want to accept.
Repeat that a little louder for me.
There are many things that people don't want to accept. They think that because you and I spoke, we are immediately friends because it was so, heartfelt.
Yeah.
And because it was heartfelt, she would never do this. And then because she did it, oh my gosh, I'm so heartbroken. Yes, you may be, right? She was such a good friend, was she?
Truly.
I'm pretty sure that at some point there may have been some type of sign.
Yeah,
although sometimes some persons would say that, it didn't have anything obvious, but maybe you weren't looking.
That is true. I feel like we actually do ignore the red flags in friendship. Well, in relationship too. Yes. We ignore the red flags because you so want to believe that this person is a good, kind-hearted person, or you want to believe the image that you have in your mind of them, and it hurts. It hurts when you come to the realization, but wait, it's already going on.
Yes, just as much as the person may have relayed a story about how they hurt somebody, that same thing could happen to you.
But even not just that, I have even seen microaggressions. So the person think that you're not looking and their face skin up, or they hit you a bad eye. And as soon as you turn your face, the smile appears.
And this is what you need. Listen. You need to always be wary about these things. For me, I would always say observe everybody. Even if you feel that you all are the greatest of friends, still be very cognizant of the little things that people do.
And the snide jokes.
Exactly. Listen, you can't tell me that you insult me and it was a joke.
Exactly.
I am hearing everything. I am remembering it and I'm choosing to not go along with it. Oh my gosh, it was a joke. Why am I not laughing?
Why you just take things so serious? Oh gosh, you must laugh. As if you didn't insult me.
But if I did that to you, would you laugh? Okay.
All right then. Okay then.
But the thing about it is that persons give it and they don't want to get it back.
True.
So that unfairness, because it's quite prevalent. A lot of persons will enter into a lot of conflict because of that. Why do you have to be mean to me if I'm your friend? You don't have to do that. Sometimes you understand some of our friends, the jokes could be very harsh, but you have to understand your friend. But at the same time, because I have friends who are very harsh in their jokes, but I have never experienced them trying to insult me.
Yeah.
The jokes are harsh and I could be like, I see what you did there.
Yeah.
That wasn't too nice, But I understand the direction they were coming from.
Exactly. And sometimes it's more focused on the nature of comedy versus a personal attack.
Exactly. But many persons have, jealousy underlying things. And they would say it as a joke, or when they get angry, you just hear the things coming out. And one thing that persons tend to do that I don't agree with is that they say because you were angry, they said XYZ, but they didn't mean it. For me,
that's the truth right there.
And I accept everything that you said when you were angry. So when it is that you come back to yourself and you're trying to be a certain way, I will not be able to accept it. Now, I could say, okay, the situation happened, you weren't happy with me or whatever happened, right? And you said all the things that you had to say. I would tell you, I heard you. I take everything that you said to be true. And I would make a decision from there.
Yeah.
That's just me. Because at the end of the day, I should be, because the same things that you said when you were angry, you should be able to tell me it when you're not angry.
Exactly. So, and 9 times out of 10, they don't have the confidence to do that. Because I feel, and I often see the dislike hidden in jokes.
You need to be careful about it.
You have to be careful with your friends. All them little jokey jokes.
But then, this is the thing. We keep calling people friends. Everybody is a friend. You need to define what that means to you.
I think at this point, and you have to mature and understand, you have friends or you have close friends, you have a bestie, you have acquaintances. We need to start getting back to saying some people are colleagues, some people are past friends or my childhood playmates. Like literally categorize. But we like to just say they are my friend for ease of access.
Yes, and we're disappointed when they do things that friends aren't supposed to.
Yeah. So guys, this topic has been quite a weighty one, and I know that some of y'all going and feel like a get hit in your throat. So with that, I hope that you are able to reevaluate or evaluate your friendships and see the gems in your friendships as well as the concerns that may be in your friendships, right? So at this time, I will allow Miss Thomas to give us some recommendations on how we can make better choices going forward, as well as the things that she considers as positive things to look out for in your friendships, because not everything is negative, and we'd like to end on a good note.
Well, going forward, the same thing I said, reevaluate your friendships every year. Listen to the things that people say. There's truth to the things that people say. When they say something, accept it for who the person is. Don't try to change it. Accept it for what it is. Make a decision and move on. Reevaluate your friendships. Ensure that these friendships are going in the direction that you want it to go. Right? And of course, you can have fun with your friends even though you may not see them every day, but understand the type of friend that this person is. You have the friend to go online with, you have the friend to talk ideas with, you have the friend to express your feelings with. Compartmentalize them, and that way you could basically you have friends for every aspect of your life, so that it basically makes you a well-rounded person.
Absolutely.
In a sense. Yeah.
Right? And in terms of the positive gems that we could look forward to in our good friends.
Well, what do good friends do? Good friends encourage you. Good friends listen to you. You can pick up the phone and you call them, hey, girl, just having a person who could be there for you when things happen, or you not feeling like, if I pick up the phone and call this person, it's going to be a burden.
Yeah.
That in itself is everything, I think. Yeah.
All right. So that is exactly what you need, a good support system. And you need to look forward to those things and for those things in your good friends. So, guys, this was a power-packed interview with a lot of things that you can consider in your free time. Don't call your friends and quarrel with them tonight. Give it some time, let it land. But at the same time, I hope that you take the advice. I hope that you consider some of what was said. And as I usually say from week to week, stay tenaciously resolute and have a positive week ahead. And that's it from us here at the podcast. Take care and bye-bye. Welcome to the Tenaciously Resolute podcast.